1969.
Listener chapter is not only a guide to those who read our missing
notice. Lieutenant General Frederick Ikuku.
In an attempt to take scapegoats as well.
For the past a group of junior army officers had attempted to
Country. After 3 months, they handed it over to the civilian government of Mahila Nina.
I was at the appropriate examples myself.
Of the free maternity care for women.
Committing themselves to civil rights, the new government.
Good morning. 1969.
Listener chapter is not only a guide to those who read our missing
Notice. Lieutenant General Frederick Ikuku.
In an attempt to take scapegoats as well.
For the past a group of junior army officers had attempted to
Country. After 3 months, they handed it over to the civilian government of Mahila Nina.
I was at the appropriate examples myself.
Of the free maternity care for women.
Obi it will take a lot more time for us to be able even to stabilize the situation and then to build upon the situation. It will also need a massive infusion of financial resources, which we don't have. But our flag bearer and the team that we'll be working with, I believe, are very resourceful. And we were there in 2012, when we came into office. Our president worked for less than 4 years, about three years and 4 months or so, because the court case took the better part of the first year. But within those 3 years, what he was able to do is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We've never seen a style before, except perhaps during the Nkrumah regime or during the early stages of the PNDC, when Jerry, our former president, Jerry John Rawlings, had to stabilize the situation again for our economic takeoff. Now, to do this thing, I believe the NDC is capable, but we need to look at a couple of things. One, we need a moral revolution. The president-elect talked about resetting the economy. We also need to reset the minds of people. comrade, they don't have an option. When you join a group, you go by the tenets of that group or you fall out. The president-elect himself said it. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be business as usual. Okay. Now, if you recall, when His Excellency Jamal was in power, 2012 to 2016, he named and shamed. He punished his own people for wrongdoing. We've never seen it before. And so this time around, the policy is very simple. And you know, in the last 8 years, something has helped the NDC a lot, which is social media. Nothing is hidden for long. You do the wrong thing, the next day it's out there in the public space. Okay? So once it comes out in the public space, the president will be very quick to react to it. And so when 2-3 people are punished for wrongdoing, the others will fall into place quickly. You either do that or you are booted out. So it is the whole issue for us to be fair, to do the right thing, to punish wrongdoing, to reward good work and hard work and honesty and truthfulness. And very soon people will think, hey, this NDC is a new NDC, it's not business as usual.
They have lost that enthusiasm. So that is how it is. I think that, like I said, there are hanging fruits that can be dealt with. For instance, I said, the youth are looking forward to begin something now. Let's organize them, whether the National Youth Organization, something, or the National Service, and let them push to the areas where Galamsey is taking place. Let's have straight supervision from some well-trained youth groups. We can get some from the military or the police or wherever. Let them go and supervise them so that the watchman does not become the thief. So that we can, by that we can engage a lot of youths in their thousands, because the work to be done is plenty, is huge. The other thing that can also be done is, like I said, we must begin reforming all the state institutions, because 99% of them are not neutral. That is the maximum. So that is where I am taking the what I want to tell my colleagues and comrades who are in power now is that if we don't do the right things from the word go, immediately the confidence in us will begin to dissipate. In other words, what I'm saying is that there are certain hanging fruits that we can pluck easily without even finance. I am talking about reformation of the institutions, state institutions, because the outgoing government captured the state. Everything from state organizations like Electoral Commission, all that, they were all captured. If you don't do the will of the people in power.
Now that issue of integrity deficit, that issue of violating the principles of truth is not a core value of social democracy. In other words, when you are holding office as a social democratic party member, you are expected to be honest in your dealings and in the management of public resources. Otherwise, then the issue about accountability would catch up with you when the people think that you are not honest in the management of the resources they've entrusted to you.
Yeah, so what are the typical mechanisms
that social democratic governments use to measure the accountability principle for their officers? It comes in the form of institutions' own guidelines as to how resources are managed. We know about audit processes, we know about disbursement processes, we know about the issues about how you use the resources entrusted to you. Those ones are standard, but there are institutions as well that, for instance, the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, they are independent constitutional bodies. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, the security agencies, and indeed the judicial system. Those are institutions that should ensure that office holders are held accountable. Even with the public service, there are rules of engagement which would prevent you or which direct you to conduct yourself in a manner that would not raise issues about your management of the resources or your mismanagement of the resources. Indeed, the release of funds annually is linked to the way you manage the previous year's resources that have been approved by Parliament for you. So Parliament itself holds office holders to account. But we operate a system where the institutions have been weakened, and particularly under this government, they have been weakened by excessive politicization, and so office holders are beholden to the president. They are basically trying to please the president, and therefore they are culpable to pressure from the presidency as to do this or do that, and they fund this program and don't fund this program. And the multiplicity of institutions have been created by the government that has given room for corruption.
And so it is important. Those are some of the things I suggest the government looks at as early as possible to give hope and confidence, hope to Ghanaians, and then build confidence in them that indeed Ghana will transform positively and the Black Star will rise once more. Because other nations are waiting for the example of the Black Star. If the Black Star fails, Africa will fail. Definitely.
And so reconstruction and destruction are two different things altogether. That means that it will take a lot more time for us to be able even to stabilize the situation and then to build upon the situation. It will also need a massive infusion of financial resources, which we don't have. But our flag bearer and the team that we'll be working with, I believe, are very resourceful. And we were there in 2012, when we came into office. Our president worked for less than 4 years, about three years and 4 months or so, because the court case took the better part of the first year. But within those 3 years, what he was able to do is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We've never seen it like before, except perhaps.
So welcome once again to United KS Phone TV. Today we have here Dr. Martin Jr. He's one young guy who's dynamic, quite forceful, well educated, and is leading the charge in bringing the Ross to an end. I haven't left our mission Ghana from the deaths of distress, suffering, squalor, and poverty. Today we are going to touch on some of the issues that have bothered Ghanaians, issues that have made youth give up, issues that have impoverished our general population. So we're going to be discussing issues ranging from Ghana inflation, cedi dollar rates, high cost of living, and yet low salaries and moderate. So how are people coping? Let's try to respond and see some of the things. So welcome to our channel, Dr. Mr.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, let's begin by asking you, maybe you can give us a brief overview of how things have been under the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, and then how in the era of John Dramani Mahama we see a new vision and a new hope to solving Ghanaians' problems.
All right, thank you very much. I think that under the Nana Bawumia administration, the youth of this nation have lost hope completely. When you get to the airports, on a daily basis, you see the number of professionals leaving the shores of Ghana. You see the number of youths leaving the shores of Ghana. You engage them in conversations. They tell you that they do not have any form of hope in Ghana. They don't see themselves living in Ghana. Go to Makola, go to Malata, talk to the online taxi driver. And you can see that they've lost hope in Ghana. Because it's even shown and reflected in the just ended elections. Lots of people are not comfortable. Lots of high voter apathy. Most of the people have given up in Ghana. And the people have trusted His Excellency John Dramani Mahama once again. So we in the NDC cannot afford to fail the people of Ghana. Talk about high cost of living. See, people have suffered in Ghana. It's not that the youth of this nation are lazy. I know people working and earning 3,000 Ghana cedis, and they are living in poverty. They are debt ridden. They have debt all over. You know, you're working and you have 3,000 Ghana cedis. You live in the station. You work in Accra. Transportation to work in and out will cost you no less than 30 Ghana cedis. 30 is even on the low. From station to Accra. No less than 30 Ghana cedis. You have 2 kids. You have a wife. You are paying rent. So at the end of the month, you are spending about 1,000 Ghana cedis or 3,000 on transportation. You come to food. We bequeathed to the Nana Bawumia administration an economy that was on the path of prosperity, and an economy that was on the point of lifting Ghana up. Listening to the dollar depreciation, we left the NPP and another administration in 2016 4 Ghana cedis, 20 pesos to the dollar. And today you have the dollar to the cedi, you have almost 17 Ghana cedis to the dollar. We bequeathed to the NPP administration at the time John Mahama to go. We had only 1 oil well. At the time that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama left power in 2016, we had left the NPP administration additional 2 oil wells, Sakoa fields and the Stem fields. So I had 3 oil wells. At the time that John Mahama was leaving power in 2016, our generational capacity in terms of electricity, we had left the NPP administration with excess generational capacity. Anything at point, they tell the people of Ghana that we have excess capacity, which is making Ghana incur lots of debts. This was an economy on the path of recovery. On the energy sector, we did not just leave excess capacity, we also left a fund to push in Ghanaians in times where the stress in the energy sector with debts. That was the energy sector recovery levy. We left that one as well for them. We did not only build generational plants, but we also built gas plants to supply gas. That's all gas came in. And today, 18 on the line, Ghana is being faced and stared in the face to do so.
Again, 80 is not the line. Ask yourself, how many megawatts has NPP added in terms of the generational capacity in the past 8 years? So Ghanaians are not only with hardship, faced with high economic, high rates of the dollar appreciating and the cedi depreciating, they are already faced with high inflation. You go to the market today with 3,000 cedis. So in the calculation of about 1,000 cedis for transportation, you spend about 1,000 cedis on food, and then your rest is about an additional, let's say, normal single percent of about 800 cedis. That's the more than 3,000. So the use of this nation and Ghanaians are magicians. To survive under this MVP Nado Bawumia administration, they are magicians. We also look at simple calculation idea. 3,000 cedis. You are spending more than 3,000 cedis. And then how we live it. So you say you go for loan. The loan today, the cheapest interest rate is about 23%. The cheapest, and that's not what we get when we get administration. So Ghanaians, they look at the use of this nation and they see corrupt MVP officials riding in serious cars, spending money, throwing money here and there. You are living with arrogance, extreme arrogance, and being insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. You talk to them about things, so they tell you to generate our own timetable. You tell them that you are living in this country, and they tell us that they call the embassies and they tell them that they should allow the use of this nation to live. So we survive hardship. Ghanaians have survived hardship. And that's MVP administration. So when it comes to the cost of living, the standard of living, it's been too much. It's been too much for the people of Ghana. Comes to inflation. You see, you go to the market, you go to market, well, you know, if you want to eat skincare fish, you want to eat skincare fish, in fishing, you get skincare about 7 Ghana cedis. The cheapest fish you get is about 10 Ghana cedis. And I'm saying fishing, that's the coastal town, they're close to the sea. The cheapest fish, the 10 Ghana cedis is very small. You don't have to watch a fish. The fish 10 Ghana cedis is a very small fish. You want to get the normal fish you eat your company and killer. You need to buy fish at 15 Ghana cedis or 13 Ghana cedis. And kill like 7 Ghana cedis. If you get a fish that used to be something that at least if you don't have too much money, you can eat and then you are okay, you can survive. So the KK fish has become a serious food. Because you want to eat KK fish well and you don't have about 30 Ghana cedis or 40 Ghana cedis, you don't eat. I don't know when they go to the market. Anybody listening to me today, then you try to buy shirts. You can't get shirts for 5 Ghana cedis. In certain rare places, you can even get it for 10 Ghana cedis. Most of the places is 20 Ghana cedis. And these are things I'm talking about that we are buying from coastal town. I'm talking about fishing, Osu, Ahad, and you're close to the sea. So you can imagine that normal KK fish for people living in the Ghana communities has not become a serious food. Gari is a food that at least in every room is when you're hungry, as you can do gari and sugar, or you can do gari and sugar or gari and soup and meat. Gari at 2060 was 5 Ghana cedis. Today gari room price is about 35 Ghana cedis. People don't even buy gari. So we have suffered so much under the NPP administration. Now, what is the solution? Enough of the momentum. Power has landed over to the NPC administration. What was the solution? What was the solution for inflation? What was the solution for the city to the dollar depreciation? I say agriculture. Let's take it one by one. Let's take inflation. They change the price in food stuff. You want to ask that, so now, with the current of the month, are we going to reduce the KK from 7 Ghana cedis or 5 Ghana cedis to 2 Ghana cedis or 1 Ghana cedis? It's not about the cost of the KK today. It's not about the salary that you're earning today. You see, the change in prices was so frequent. Today is 7 Ghana cedis, tomorrow is 8 Ghana cedis, after 10 Ghana cedis, your salary standards are still at 30 Ghana cedis. You cannot do the planning or anything. But I can tell you that if you invest so much in agriculture, if people plant maize, if they're able to build warehouses to be able to store some of them, silos to store most of them, and we have maize in abundance. Maize is the primary commodity used in the production of KK and all that, we'll be able to get the prices down. We'll be able to get the prices down. So when we invest in agriculture, okay, and there's abundance of normal economics to tell you that when there's abundance of the commodity, then the price of the commodity drops. But when there's scarcity of that commodity, the price of that commodity increases. So when there's abundance of it, cake is going to, the price of cake is going to drop. There's abundance of yam. And all those go to the market. You realize that the seasonal crops, the season in which they come in abundance, those particular periods, the price of those commodities, that seasonal crop, it goes down. So when there's abundance of the commodity, then the price will come down. We are going to make sure and invest in agriculture, where we are going to encourage the youth to go into agri, where we are setting up agri service centers for youth to go into agri, to school our lives, to give equipment to go to the farming, free fertilizer, free seedlings, and equality for people who want to go into farming. When I say equality, for anybody who knows about poultry farming, for anybody who knows about rent in the poultry industry, one of the major things that always said that's expensive for every poultry farmer is buying the day-old chicks. It's buying the chicks that's the quality in the local balance. One will be in Ghana, in Trinity, and if governments or political parties are going to provide a quality, provide the chicks, day-old chicks, and week-old chicks for people who want to engage the poultry farming to reduce their burden. And the political parties are making money of this, then they are insensitive to the lives of poultry farmers. We are also saying that, see, apart from the day-old chicks, we are going to make sure that we bring in this feed processing plants. Anybody who has done poultry farming knows that the cost of feed for these farmers is too expensive. Be it poultry farming, be it fish farming, be it pig farming, the cost of the feed is too expensive. So if John Howard, any administration says that we are going to build feed processing plants to produce these feeds locally, that will create jobs and then make the feed cheap for the farmers. This is so lovely. Once you have this abundance of all these commodities, the fish, the food, and all that, food prices is going to come down. That's one of the ways that we are going to correct them. Now you talk about the city depreciated. We need to reduce exports. That's we need to start building the see when you look at the things that we import into this country. We import insecticides. When you don't know about it. We import poultry, chickens. We import meat into Ghana. What's the cost? We import the cost. Are you telling me that these are things that our local farmers cannot produce? We need to embark on a strong import subsidy drive here in Ghana. We need to boost our local industries, our local agricultural farmers. And then when we have something like rice, we need to be able to reduce the importation of rice and boost local production of rice. We need to reduce the importation of pesticides. We have so many cows, so many pesticides. We have to displace prices in the country. The John Mahama administration, the solution is that they are going to invest so much in agriculture, they are going to set up centers that are going to provide the poultry, they are going to provide the feed, they are going to provide the agricultural equipment to help them in their farming. What we do is drastically, to a large extent, we'll be able to stabilize the sea. Once we reduce the importation, we'll be able to also stabilize inflation and reduce food prices or keep them stable for a long period of time. So those help the salaries that are not really growing, to pushing and improve the standard of living of people in Ghana.
Yeah, thanks so much. One of the crucial elements in the rise of goods prices and the price of goods and services is transport fares. And we know these transport fares are what affects everything, almost everything, because as soon as the people who bring the goods and services raise their prices because the cost of fuel has been increased, it has a ricochet effect. it just replicates across all goods that are brought from interland via transport. You have people also calculating it to mean, no, prices are going up, so we also have to increase our services, the cost of our services, in order to make a break even. Again, you have this same fuel issue which affects ordinary lubricants. Even though we only know of petrol and diesel, you can see that all the other forms of lubricants, the prices also go up because there's a domino effect. We have heard GM promise that it's going to reduce the price of fuel because we can get a good percentage of the fuel we consume here from our own oil fields and then reduce that of the importation. And then he's promised to bring back the oil refinery. So, and then expand the refineries so that we have more sources of fuel from Ghana and then processing in Ghana so that we don't have to really go and use dollar to import and then to affect the price go up. What are the prospects in this?
Yeah, that's a very good one. When you look at the components that goes into the pricing of fuel, one of them that we in NDC have spoken over and over again is the tax components. There are lots of nuisance taxes that are included in the pricing of fuel in Ghana. So if you look at the components, if you look at the components that makes up the pricing, there are some taxes that we've spoken, we've said over and over again that we will abolish them. So continue saying that we are going to reduce the price of fuel, we are going to abolish the nuisance taxes that is part of the components that adds up to the pricing of fuel. The second thing which we've spoken about extensively has to do with exchange rates, the depreciation of the city. So even if we are not producing the crude here, we are not processing the crude here, we are importing the crude. One of the reasons that will make it expensive is because our city keeps depreciating and the dollar keeps rising. So if we are able to bring the dollar down, the depreciation of the dollar down to about 10 Ghana cedis, and then we make the city stronger, we realize that this will affect the pricing of fuel as well. And then thirdly, we used to have thermal oil refinery that used to process crude oil here. Now, what thermal oil was doing was that, apart from the fact that it was used to make fuel cheaper on the market and very available and accessible for people who want to use it, the refinery itself was also creating jobs for people. You go to the refinery today, they are not processing for, they are not doing anything, all they do is storage or fuel. They bring the imported fuel and then people can store it in their tank. That's how they are getting their income. And then they use it to be the little workers that are left over there. The NDC and Drug Management Administration, we are going to revive the oil refinery. We are going to process crude here in Ghana. We drill oil in Ghana. We are going to process them in Ghana. And we also only export. We get foreign exchange as well to push in. So once we are processing the crude in Ghana, it makes it cheaper. And already oil promised, John has promised incentives, electricity tariffs, and then all that. And we stabilize the city especially by cutting down on importation. We look at subsidy, importation subsidy, and things that we can do locally here, sectors that we can improve upon so that we don't import those things like poultry, like woolly, like intestines, like toothpaste, like tomatoes, like onions. We are importing all these things into Ghana here. And these are things that our soil, our rich Ghanaian soil can be able to produce. It's to bring down and strengthen our city and also reduce fuel drastically. So holistically, looking at the economy, looking at township and all that, so before prices go up, you look at the chain. The anti-massa tomatoes in the Bono region has to come to middle markets in Kidney, Kumasi, Mapala, and Accra. is transportation. So the four price goes up, transportation of the commodity from the farm is going to go up, and then all is going to be measured on the consumer. The consumer is going to pay more. The fuel prices are down. You see the chain flows. It affects a lot of things. So it's an area where the NDC government is going to look at critically. Most importantly, stabilizing the city, abolition of the nuisance tax mix up the pricing of fuel, and also revival of the thermal oil refinery.
Yes, all that's been good. Now, we have also discussed one thing. Over the past 8 years of MPP rule, prices have increased, they double, they triple, they quadruple, then they increase by 500%, five-fold. And yet salaries, those who are earning salaries. At one point, is that the government has increased salaries by something, is it 4%? Which is giving the people to their office where they live or die. At the same time, people who are doing business, small businesses collapse because they couldn't afford the cost of production. The cost of production was so high. Others who are the markets with retail just lost business because people couldn't afford, people didn't have money enough to go spend. So sales went down. And they just go hoping against hope. And the people spoke by voting for John Dramani Mahama. Now we have the power. We have promised a lot. There are a couple of things that we have to do in order to bring down the cost of living, stabilize the city, and then give people means of purchasing. What are some of these things that we can do when we think the government, according to our policy documents, have set itself on the road to do to achieve to mitigate the causes of this suffering of Ghanaians?
Okay, so for a long period, salaries have been stagnant. Under the NDP administration, the increments have been very minimal, whereas food prices have increased astronomically. And you ask how do people survive, rents has also increased astronomically. And you ask how do people survive while the rent is going up, the salaries are still, let's say, four prices keeps going up, the city keeps depreciating and all that. For every normal Ghanaian worker, okay, average Ghanaian worker, rent is one of the killers. Food pricing is one of the killers in transportation. So under rent, there's a policy in the John administration that talks about the fact that once you have a land, if you have a land, you can, based on your salary, your affordability, you can get 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, or 4 bedroom, based on your design. The government is going to do for you within the space of as close to 1 year, you move into it, and then you pay, let's say, it's not going to be like that. If it's a 2 bedroom, and a 2 bedroom rent about 2,000 Ghana cedis in Accra, when you pay 500 Ghana cedis, so a long period of time, if it's 20, 30 years, they are going to pay. One of the ways that they are bringing policies are bringing in to mitigate the hardship being measured on ordinary Ghanaians. So once the rent issue is solved, we look at the pricing of food as well. Because if the salary is still the same, 3,000 is not even the increase. Okay. And instead of you using 2,000 spirits, they are living in their own house, they are paying maybe 500 Ghana cedis or even 200 Ghana cedis. And then for the next 30 years. They are saving how much Ghana cedis? They are saving about 1,800 Ghana cedis, which you can channel into something else. You wouldn't have to worry with the frequent increase in the price of food. Because once you invest so much in agriculture, and there's abundance of food on the market, when there's an abundance of the commodity, then the price of the commodity is definitely going to drop. And even if it doesn't drop and it's very stable, let's say Ghanaian still maintains at 30 Ghana cedis for the next 2 years. Okay, they are selling outstanding Ghana cedis for rent. If it is a 30 Ghana cedis, the salary will see a 4%, 5% increment as well. So again, the standard of living has been improved. Looking at the transportation system that we have in Ghana, we promised in our manifesto we are going to bring the electric buses. They are going to improve the public transport system and then all that. Once the public transport system is improved, and there's competition between the public and then the private sector, okay, your transportation that used to pay about 1,500 cedis at the end of the month, with an effective public transport system from the government, okay, competing with the private sector, transport fares are going to go down. So everything is trying is the same. With all these policies being rolled out for the people of Ghana, okay, it is going to improve the standard of living. Just for the rent issue, if you are paying 500, there are 7,500 Ghana cedis at the end of the month. 1,500 at the end of the month. And then you have stable food prices for a long period of time. Even if it goes up a little, you see, you are saving lots of money from us in transportation and all that. And they're also going to work on renewable energy. Now, most of our generational capacities are through the thermal plant. But now we have lots of sunshine over here. We are utilizing it. You know, so the NDC to our administration, in our manifesto, we are going to invest in renewable energy, which is going to be cheaper as well. So not everybody is going to be on the national grid. As well as expensive. So when these things are done, you understand the standard of the ordinary average earning will improve standard of living.
Yeah, so what we are going to get money into people's pockets? Is it by enhancing their jobs or something? Because maybe that will now be within this way of free of job creation. Yeah, but people really need money. And unless you get jobs and you earn an income, the situation won't take that.
Yeah, the job is one of the flagship policy of the job administration. When you go to the street and ask any Ghanaian which was the policy of Jomama, you will remember. They will say that they remember the policy of the Jomama 24-hour economy. The 24-hour economy was one of the major campaign promises of John Mahama's campaign. So the issue of creation of jobs is a top priority for John Mahama. The creation of jobs in the economy is a top priority for John Mahama's administration. And for people who are concerned that politicians currently forget about the projects that were started by the previous administration, John Mahama has assured Ghanaians that it's going to continue all the projects started by the previous administration. And for the monies that have been boosted, the operation will cover all those, the staff will cover most of those monies and will use them to benefit the people of Ghana. John Mahama has been sworn in, yes, by a committee has been set up, the oral committee, and you look at the members of the committee, you realize that these are men of integrity, these are men who have credibility, and they are serious, and then they know what they are doing. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Samuel Ogudeto, the MP for Northtown constituency, we know the things they have done, exposés that he has exposed so far, with the Smith's hotel that Bernard Champon wanted to purchase, with the ambulance, Senegal, with Akufo-Addo's daughter, being signed, given millions of dollars from the taxpayers in the name of servicing ambulance. All these drugs were exposed by Samuel Ogudeto. We have somebody like the former Auditor General, Mr. Yablongo, who had a very serious anti-corruption campaigner. As part of the committee, you have lawyer Master People as part of the committee as well. So you look at all these people who are part of the members of the committee, you realize that COP retired. Later, Kofi Boakye also part of it. So because they are not paying them with any taxpayers' money, no money is going to be given to them, even for allowance or fee or anything. they are doing it as a voluntary work and they are sacrificing for Ghana. What they are doing, they are not going to prosecute anybody, they are expecting information, and then the information will channel to the state agencies that are in charge of prosecution, and then they'll handle it from there. And from the time that they were set up, more than 4 million cases have been reported to the oral team. They are not going to do any justice or anything. That shows His Excellency John Dramani Maham's commitment to ensuring that we recover these monies and then use them to benefit the people of Ghana. Those monies can be used to complete the general hospital to save the people of the pregnant women that are running out to travel distances to be able to access health care. And this should be happening today in Ghana. We need to recover the money from them. If I tell you the reports that has been exposed so far on the National Service Secretariat, there's a lot of fear and panic in the Secretariat right now. And we are going to recover the monies and make sure that we use them to benefit the people of Ghana. We are also going to make sure that we don't run elephant size of government. Germany has always 60 ministers. There's always a lean government, and most of the money that are used to pay these extra ministers, their drivers, their cooks, and all these things will be used to develop the people in Ghana, to pushing all of us so that they improve our standard of living. So we are very focused, and the center of the committee and the number of meetings that are going on, we are very focused. But my only advice to all NDC policies, all of us have worked for this victory. Ghanaians have voted for us for this victory. They should take away any form of arrogance. Any form of arrogance. All of us cannot serve the government. A few will be chosen to serve the government, and some will be behind to support those who serve the government. Wisdom is not in the head of only one person. So you obviously need people to come and give you ideas, correct you, and then show you ways to pass. Keep your doors open. No matter the number of people, the number of Ghanaians that come to the office, that are seeking the audience, get time and talk to them. It's not always about giving them money. It's not always about seeing somebody dressed in target goods, or you don't know about the person and think the person is coming for money. Listen to them, sometimes get speak to the people, and the people are happy. We cannot repeat the same mistakes that NPP people repeated. This is only a word of advice to all of us in the National Democratic Congress. Let's use this opportunity Ghanaians have given us to build the confidence of the people of Ghana in our party, in politics, and the youth to believe and have hope in Ghana. We stay in Ghana and work to develop Ghana. Please, let's remain humble and take away the form of arrogance. Let's work hard to change the destiny of this country.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to revise this enough, but I would like also to hear something on the flip side. Our tradition, some people have already claimed, even in the days of wars who were struggling to overthrow the NPP government, they have complained that FNDC, when you come to power, help the people. Stop this tradition of sacrifice. What people work for you, appreciate them and reward them. The reward system of our people is very suspect. And then there is this aspect of some people are volunteers, others are workers. Others must be given attention first because they are obviously sacrificed. The reward system, yeah, you must pay attention to the people who work for us. I'm sure you might have an opinion about that. And that is what I told you we have heard even before we won victory. So what would you say must be done to the people who sacrifice so much for us to win, to save Ghana from this mess?
I think that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, his handlers, must look beyond their group circle in giving this appointment. I've worked at the grassroots. I've engaged a couple of times with people at the top and around His Excellency, and I can tell you that there are lots and lots of quality materials at the grassroots close to the circle of His Excellency. So I think that some of them will not, their lobbying will not go too far. And I think they should go beyond. They should do their research well and then get people. There are several groups out there. And I think one of the groups that I came in contact with, I loved so much. And they were working with no motivation and they were working so hard. It was a killer front. It was a killer, the United Killer Front. They were working so hard. And I asked myself, what motivates these old men to work like that? And they were working without family from Central Community or anybody. As a young man, I think it was an honor and privilege to be part of them, to sit in their meetings a couple of times. And you look at the quality, you look at the intelligence of the people there, you look at their commitment to the nation and the party. You see, you cannot have an appointment without appointing anybody from care from. There are several groups, there are lots of youths who are working. I'm a young man, when it comes to the qualifications, I have all the qualifications. When it comes to the work, we work so hard to bring the party to power. We're in the trenches, we're in the classes, we're in the dangerous places, we sleepless nights, sacrifice time and everything. And maybe because they are not close to the circles, you will not be given any appointment. But Joma should give people who will give them the appointment. That's know the people who work at the grassroots. And I think that anybody from the Kenya from there, that's not exactly what happens at the grassroots. We shouldn't have a situation where the government will distance from the party again. Or the government distance from the party, which is that people who work will be forgotten. And when they are forgotten, you will not get the people to work for you again in the next election. And it will take us back to opposition. But there are people who engage the grassroots, give them an appointment. And when it's a right, they are given an appointment. They say the grassroots that comes about it. Also, you work with the people there, and they're actually shooting videos, trying to explain issues on Nikoro, the hinterland, and all those places. So you know the people that are working over there. You know, you're telling the grassroots, you're given an appointment to you. One of those who comes to your office, and you go to say about them. But if you give people who understand how the grassroots works, they really do campaign, they get to show up, they take pictures, and then all that. He gives an appointment. They don't understand what the grassroots can do, sat there. And then the gap between the party and the government. Another thing I noticed about the Killer Front was that all the other groups who are working there taking pictures throughout the campaign on social media and everything. I never saw any pictures of the Killer Front. United Killer Front. I know they're working so hard because of that. I never saw any pictures or anything like that. So maybe some people might say they don't know the contribution of the killers in this election and then all that. So then I can tell you that they work so hard and they are part of our history. So in giving our appointments, we should be careful and then we should broaden the net and move on and keep people who are committed to the party, people who are work, people who understand the grassroots, so we don't have the gap or the system between government and the party.
Yeah, that's right. But from the side of someone who has seen it from the days of the 1980s to the revolution, I would like to have the system properly working. Because for our tradition, we are the people who reach right down from the presidency, right down to the village level, to the lowest level. And everything was working well in times past. And we would like to see this re-established and reinforced because there are mechanisms, setups, arrangements that reach people in various sectors of the economy. Some go as far as the young and energetic guy who's working on the field. Others go to youth. We are the ones who prioritize those who are not materially endowed. You may not be physically endowed with money, you cannot call them rich, but it's rich in ideas and in spirit. We are the ones who are rich. And they rewarded us back. Because at the time of the PNDC, NDC, the support of the grassroots was so good. And everybody had to adopt strategies to say, oh, let's change the system, and then they draw the attention of people away. That is what I want us to see. Engagements and interventions that will drive down to the grassroots, the move on the ground, so that people don't take advantage of it. And then you see hundreds of bags of fertilizers being packed to somebody's vehicle, they are taking it away. No.
Any self-esteem thinks that they are going to be exposed, they are going to be shaped. We are not going to control any of those things.
That is what we would like to see. Because that is what happened when the experienced hands that are called killers were running affairs of the country. Everything was working in every corner.
I think the killers, the current government needs to tap into them, because one killers are appointed, if they should be part of the appointment committee. Because I know, because they deal with the grassroots, they know the people at the grassroots. If they mention Ashanti region, they know. They mention Ghana, they know the people that are working. They don't know those that are working. So it's not necessary to, when they are forming the appointment committee, I think that the United Kingdom Front should be included. And then they know people at the grassroots who are competent, so they can also nominate them as well.
Yeah, we shall highlight our political philosophy that evolved right down from the days of
probity and accountability.
Yes, and what has evolved into what is called social democracy. Equality of all man, everything shared at the equality level, egalitarianism, people who don't have even some sort of energy to enhance their ability to
should not have the same hospital.
Yes. The discrimination begins to creep in. No, we are social democrats. We come from the proletarian, not the bourgeois. Not that we don't know how to do things big, but we don't lose touch with the ground. That is what we are. That is the roots of the NDC. And if we do that, I bet you from experience, the people always respond to you. They always pay you back. Say, we know these people, but we what you have done for us, we know. That is what we want to see. So thank you once again. And we hope we shall have more time to discuss other issues.
Yes, for national government and party.
For the benefit of our people. We shall meet again. And this has been United Killers from TV. And here I am Brent, and I say goodbye and see you again. Yes, thanks a lot.
Committing themselves to civil rights, the new government.
Good morning.
1969.
This merit chapter is not only a guide to those who lead our nation in government.
On notice, Lieutenant General Frederick Ekufu.
In an attempt to make scapegoats of Rawlings and his men.
For the first time in Ghana, a group of junior army officers had attempted to
country. After 3 months, they handed over to a civilian government under Hilal Liman.
I will set the appropriate examples myself. Big Parliament is dissolved. See, error has come into being in this country. Supposed to be 24.
Of the free maternity care for our women. Late President news
That means that it will take a lot more time for us to be able even to stabilize the situation and then to build upon the situation. It will also need a massive infusion of financial resources, which we don't have. But our flag bearer and the team that we'll be working with, I believe, are very resourceful. And We were there in 2012, when we came into office. Our president worked for less than 4 years, about three years and 4 months or so, because the court case took the better part of the first year. But within those 3 years, what he was able to do is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We've never seen a style before, except perhaps during the Nkrumah regime or during the early stages of the PNDC, when our former president, Jerry John Rawlings, had to stabilize the situation again for our economic takeoff. Now, to do this thing, I believe the NDC is capable, but we need to look at a couple of things. One, we need a moral revolution. The president-elect talked about resetting the economy. We also need to reset the minds of people. Comrade, they don't have an option. When you join a group, you go by the tenets of that group, or you fall out. The president-elect himself said it. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be business as usual. Okay. Now, if you recall, when His Excellency Jamal was in power, 2012 to 2016, he named and shamed. He punished his own people for wrongdoing. We've never seen it before. And so this time around, the policy is very simple. And you know, in the last 8 years, something has helped the NDC a lot, which is social media. Nothing is hidden for long. You do the wrong thing, the next day it's out there in the public space. Okay? So once it comes out in the public space, the president will be very quick to react to it. And so when 2-3 people are punished for wrongdoing, the others will fall into place later. You either do that or you are booted out. So it is the whole issue for us to be fair, to do the right thing, to punish wrongdoing, to reward good work and hard work and honesty and truthfulness. And very soon people will think, hey, this NDC is a new NDC, it's not business as usual.
They have lost that enthusiasm. So that is how it is. I think that, like I said, there are hanging fruits that can be dealt with. For instance, I said, the youth are looking forward to begin something now. Let's organize them, whether the National Youth Organization, something, or the National Service, and let them push to the areas where Galamsey is taking place. Let's have straight supervision from some well-trained youth groups. We can get some from the military or the police or wherever. Let them go and supervise them so that the watchman does not become the thief. So that we can, by that we can engage a lot of youths in their thousands. Because the work to be done is plenty, is huge. The other thing that can also be done is, like I said, we must begin reforming all the state institutions. Because 99% of them are non-neutral. That is the maximum. So that is where I am taking the what I want to tell my colleagues and comrades who are in power now is that if we don't do the right things from the word go, immediately the confidence in us will begin to dissipate. In other words, what I'm saying is that there are certain hanging fruits that we can pluck easily without even finance. I am talking about reformation of the institutions, state institutions, because the outgoing government captured the state. Everything from state organization like electoral commission and all that, they were all captured. If you don't do the will of the people in power.
Now that issue of integrity deficit, that issue of, violating the principles of truth is not a core value of social democracy. In other words, when you are holding office as a social democratic party member, you are expected to be honest in your dealings in the management of public resources. Otherwise, then the issue about accountability would catch up with you when the people think that you are not honest in the management of the resources they've entrusted to you.
Yeah, so what are the typical mechanisms that social democratic governments use to measure the accountability principle for their officers?
It comes in the form of institutions' own guidelines as to how resources are managed. We know about audit processes, we know about disbursement processes, we know about the issues about how you use the resources entrusted to you. Those ones are standard, but there are institutions as well that, for instance, the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, they are independent constitutional bodies. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, the security agencies, and indeed the judicial system. Those are institutions that should ensure that office holders are held accountable. Even with the public service, there are rules of engagement which would prevent you or which direct you to conduct yourself in a manner that would not raise issues about your management of the resources or your mismanagement of the resources. Indeed, the release of funds annually is linked to the way you manage the previous year's resources that have been approved by Parliament for you. So Parliament itself holds office holders to account. But we operate a system where the institutions have been weakened, and particularly under this government, they have been weakened by excessive politicization, and so office holders are beholden to the president. They are basically trying to please the president, and therefore they are culpable to pressure from the presidency as to do this or do that, and they fund this program and don't fund this program. And the multiplicity of institutions have been created by the government have given room for corruption.
And so it is important. Those are some of the things I suggest the government looks at as early as possible to give hope and confidence, hope to Ghanaians, and then build confidence in them that indeed Ghana will transform positively and the Black Star will rise once more. Because other nations are waiting for the example of the Black Star. If the Black Star fails, Africa will fail. Definitely.
And so reconstruction and destruction are two different things altogether. That means that it will take a lot more time for us to be able even to stabilize the situation and then to build upon the situation. It will also need a massive infusion of financial resources, which we don't have. But our flag bearer and the team that we'll be working with, I believe, are very resourceful. And we were there in 2016 2012, when we came into office. Our president worked for less than 4 years, about three years and 4 months or so, because the court case took the better part of the first year. But within those 3 years, what he was able to do is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We've never seen a style before, except perhaps during the Nkrumah regime or during the early stages of the PNDC when Jerry, our former president, John Rawlings, had to stabilize the situation again for our economic takeoff. Now, to do this thing, I believe the NDC is capable, but we need to look at a couple of things. One, we need a moral revolution.
I hope you can hear me.
The president-elect talked about resetting the economy. We also need to reset the mindset.
Can you hear me?
Comrade, they don't have an option. When you join a group, you go by the tenets of that group, or you fall out.
Can you hear me?
The president-elect himself said it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be business as usual. Okay. Now, if you recall, when His Excellency John was in power, 2012 to 2016, he named and shamed. He punished his own people for wrongdoing. We've never seen it before. And so this time around, the policy is very simple. And you know, in the last 8 years, something has helped the NDC a lot, which is social media. Nothing is hidden for long. You do the wrong thing, the next day it's out there in the public space. Okay? So once it comes out in the public space, the president will be very quick to react to it. And so when 2-3 people are punished for wrongdoing, the others will fall into place quickly. You either do that or you are booted out. So it is the whole issue for us to be fair, to do the right thing, to punish wrongdoing, to reward good work and hard work and honesty and truthfulness. And very soon people will think, hey, this NDC is a new NDC, it's not business as usual.
They have lost that enthusiasm. So that is how it is. I think that, like I said, there are hanging fruits that can be dealt with. For instance, I said, the youth are looking forward to begin something now. Let's organize them, whether the National Youth Organization, something, or the National Service, and let them push to the areas where Galamsey is taking place. Right. Let's have straight submission from some well-trained youth groups. We can get some from the military or the.
Yeah, so welcome to United Cadres Front TV. Reverend Eduam.
Yes.
Welcome to United Cadres Front TV.
This is Reverend.
You are live. Yes, you are live. I hope you are.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Thank you. Yes, I can.
Yeah, so at this point in time, because government is not yet fully constituted, we are focusing on the problems of the youth that want to vote for NDC face. That is their problems with jobs and so forth. You get it? So in such situations, we want to see how the government that the youth when to vote for can help them with jobs. I hope you get me. Hope you are hearing me, Reverend.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me? Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yes,
there's a lag, but we will have to manage with it. If you got my question, then please go ahead and tell us something. Yeah, so you can see, hope you were monitoring, and I hope you were watching the interview, the guest of the day, Dr. Metta Nunu Jr. And we discussed, the interview was also about jobs and the situation with the jobs and how things are. We are acknowledging how difficult the economic situations are today, and how the NDC government is going to help solve them. So provide jobs and the various avenues that we are going to provide for the youth to get employment and jobs. So that is what we are discussing now. Oh, yeah, I missed you. We missed Dr. Edouard, so when he comes back, when we get him back online, we shall resume. I think he's coming back. I can see signs that you are trying to come back. So Reverend will soon be online, and then we shall continue with our discussions. Meanwhile, those of you out there, fellow cadets, young cadets, and all you monitoring, all you who have been alerted that we are dealing with how to help ourselves, the fact is, no minister, no political party functionary is going to feed you on a daily basis. At best, you get some gifts. And so the best thing to do after you have voted a government into office is to try and get the government to provide jobs for you. And that is what we are about now. We should be able to expect, we are right if we expect our government to give us jobs. And we should always be right to ask the government to do the needful, that is, do what we need to do. The government has to do for us to get employment which will benefit us. And that is why we voted the government to perform. And then we kicked out a government that wasn't performing. So, in a nutshell, we are trying to explore all the avenues that we are going to get our government to help us get our jobs and the employment and the income generating activities that we all desire. Now, we have been told by Dr. Metta Nunu the agro business that the government plans to enter into, provide and develop for the youth, and other avenues of employment. And that is what is expected of a government. Now we we hope we'll be able to take advantage, full advantage, because that is where we shall benefit. That is where we shall benefit. If we sit down and then we shout the slogans, I don't think we are doing ourselves any good. No. And so many of the programs that we have aspired for, in various places we are doing a couple of things, all right. In various places we are already involved in agri processing. And in this industry of agri, there are a lot of things that should come in. And we should be, and we are ready to work. After all, the people have been working and yet the work is not going on. And if our government is going to work, we should be able to know how they are providing that job, the nature of the job, the scope of the job, what new things is the government bringing, and how we will be able to take advantage of it. We have been able to, we have had areas where we have talked about agro business, and then we have talked about labor exports. Yeah, export of labor. And in the export of labor area, that is people who are in various fields like teaching and nursing and some other fields. They are the ones who are obviously expected to benefit. And so they are the ones who qualified, or let's say the targets of that program. They are the targets of that program. So our embassies, we have been told, are going to create opportunities for us that we can take care of. We also have the programs proper over here. And then we also have a 24-hour economy that we are also expecting to provide us with jobs. So now, the question will be, what area are you going to be able to fit in? What area are you going to be able to fit in? That is what we must explore. That is what we must explore. So if you got anything, or if you are going to discuss any program, that is what will logically expect any meaningful supporter, yes, to take part in. Because we must think about ourselves, even as we are doing politics. We have to think about ourselves. And in thinking about ourselves, we must think about which jobs our government is going to provide for us.
account is low. 8 pesos in your account.
If you're a teacher, there are these avenues. If the schools are built, they obviously provide more schools to employ teachers. If we get ourselves in the area of health, we all know there are hospitals that are uncompleted and we expect them to be completed so we get jobs. Otherwise, we should expect to get something in the area of the exchange, the job exchange. Yes, Comrade Amankwa Prempe.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Evening, sir.
You are live on United Cadres Front TV.
Okay.
Yes. And I hope you follow the discussion, the interview of the day.
Yes, please, I did.
Yes. And I don't know whether you've been listening, and you heard me a few moments ago, because the fact is, what I want to bring to the attention of cadres and even party supporters of all kinds, we are not to just follow the party, go ahead and then vote, shout slogans, and then we have won and then be happy. We are to take advantage of what the government has got to provide. We expect the government to help us in employment. We expect government to help us in our cost of living situation, ameliorate our conditions. And that is the reason why tonight's program has come on. I hope you get me.
Yes, please. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes, and that is why I keep drumming. I believe I sent messages around to cadres that the purpose of tonight's interview is get people to know areas where the government is creating the avenues for us to get some income generating activities, so that we will be able to take advantage of it. Go ahead and take advantage of it, because that is why we voted for government. That is why we are expecting one party to come and rule, and NDC has come. So please, what did you get from the interview?
Oh, I got a lot.
Share it with us, would you mind?
No, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love the way you are advocating for justice.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like what the masses cannot say, what the masses are afraid to say, is what you are saying for them. So we appreciate what you did, and we encourage you to continue doing it on a weekly basis.
Yes, but please tell us the takeaway. What did you take out of the interview? Which areas do you think are relevant, and how do you think cadres and young cadres who have joined can take advantage of?
Well, the cadres, the young ones, when they keep watching the program, they'll be abreast with what exactly is meant by the cadres and what the cadres stood for from the one and until now.
Yes, well, we are referring specifically to tonight's stream. Tonight's stream.
Hello?
Talking about the job opportunities and how we are to take advantage of it. That's what we are referring to now. You see?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking you the takeaway, what you got from it.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you well. My network is poor.
Well, so too bad.
You may call back or I'll call back, sir.
Well, okay.
All right.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Yes, so tonight, yet again, we have discussed job avenues for our people. And I hope some of us benefited from it. And we have seen a couple of avenues that we can take advantage
The number you're
of.
calling is busy. Please try again later. The number you're calling is busy. Please try again later.
Because at this time, at this point in time, youths need jobs. Youths need
The number you're calling is busy. Please try again later.
jobs.
The number you're calling is busy.
And that is why. That is why we are dealing with avenues and job employment, job creation. Comrade Lawal Abdullahi. Comrade
Yes, sir, my boss.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. You are live on United Cadres Front TV.
Hello?
Yes, I said you are live on United Cadres Front TV.
Okay, then let me go there.
Okay, but you can speak since you were using audio. You were talking audio.
I'm audio. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to be visible, then we use a video. But I've already called you. So the thing is, we discussed this evening. The main program was an interview concerning the job avenues and employment.
So if I go to the WhatsApp site, can I get you there?
I send you the link. We are on YouTube. You are live on YouTube. So if you go to the channel
YouTube.
on YouTube, you will see us there.
Okay, YouTube.
But since your call is not video, you will not see yourself, but you can hear yourself. But just let's talk.
We should talk.
Yes, let's talk.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Next time we can arrange. I send you a video link, and then you come in via video. Or you want to come in via video?
Yes, I wanted to be on the video, but since today we can talk.
Oh yeah, we can talk.
Hello, comrades.
We can arrange.
Okay.
The next time. Next weekend will be a busy
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Next weekend will be a busy one. So we
Okay.
can arrange, and then you come on video, and then you express your opinions. But we have discussed, as I have told you, I don't know whether this is for
Okay.
now. This is the second time we are discussing employment, jobs, and income generation.
Okay.
That is what we are talking about. Trying to send a message to our young kids and all kids alike that this is
Okay.
the government has come. The government has made programs. It has promised a lot, and we are in the process of getting the promises. So what we have to do now is identify the areas that we would like to get the help from in the area of income generating activities, so that we can go into it and get our benefits from it, because that is why we have voted the government into power.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is why I called you to give us if you have an opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello, so share with us what you have.
Yeah. Actually, what I have is
the area I am, if we emphasize on the agri aspect, in fact, we will benefit a lot.
Okay, and the agri is always everywhere. So
Yes,
what area of agri? They have talked about agro
actually,
industry. What do you think? How do you
actually,
think the program can be fashioned and modeled in such a way that our youths can benefit from it?
actually, if we invest in these soya beans or the cultivation of tomatoes, it would have, benefited fast. But because looking at cashew, it will also be profitable, but that one takes a year. It takes time. I think with the 24 hours economy.
Okay.
But investing on the agric that can engage the youth, even be busy and stop taking unnecessary drugs and behaving on the street. When they have something engage themselves, I think it will help take distance in the country and also generate income for the government.
All right.
To more so here, in fact, we are good at cultivating these cereal crops, millet, maize, etc. But the soybean and granules are also doing well here. If we are able to invest in that aspect, I know we will all benefit and the government will not lose.
Yeah, so that's right. That's right. So
Hello.
what is left? What is left now is which area? How is the program? How is the program to be fashioned to suit your people where you are? That is the thing now. So please identify the area of the 24-hour economy that your people can take advantage of. You get me?
Yes,
So that
yes.
subsequently we shall discuss it well. So you can tell us this and that area is where we can take advantage of.
Yes.
Yes. So that's
Actually,
it.
with time, actually, that's what I'm saying. If we invest in the soya beans, in the cereal aspect, that is where I think our people cannot disappoint them.
Yeah. So the point is, you see, there are various models. That is why we are doing the program, so that we know what is on the table. What is on the table, so
Yeah.
that you will tell us this area of the 24-hour economy. You can.
Okay.
That is where we want to take us. So what is necessary now is
Okay.
you go check up which area of the
Okay.
24-hour economy you would like to take part in, or your people will take part in, and then when we are talking, you tell us. You understand?
Yes.
Yes, because this discussion is going to continue because cadres around the country must benefit from our own projects. You get it?
Actually, if by even doing the listen, this our area for now is a drought, it's a dry season.
No problem. The point I'm making, I hope you heard me, that you
Okay.
check
Okay.
the 24-hour economy thing. That is why the interview, we organized the interview and then showed it a
Okay.
while ago. Check the area.
In terms of,
And then you will be able to tell us this in this program, in the 24-hour program, the way it is structured, this and that area is where we will fit. You understand?
Okay.
They have got different
Yeah.
kinds of programs.
Okay.
You get it. So you are the ones who are going to check this particular project, and then if anything, we can you can start a discussion that it has to be modified in such and such a manner to suit our people.
Okay.
You see, yes.
Okay.
So that's your job now. Before
Okay.
we come into the regions. I hope you get me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So please, the next time we talk, I would like you to tell us something specific.
Okay.
You get it? Because that is why we are doing the live show, to get feedback
Okay.
from comrades far out in the
Okay.
country, so that we will know what you comrades need over there. You understand? Yes, and then
Yes.
because with time we shall be coming around.
Okay.
Yes, so before we get there, you must be giving us the feedback from the ground. Then when we get there, we know what the people want there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is a deal. So we shall speak again, possibly next week, and then you tell us
Okay.
something very concrete.
Okay.
Okay, Charlie. So all the best.
Okay.
So see you soon, and then spread the message and get your guys to start thinking about the areas.
Okay.
In your region, northeast, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Northeast.
So tell them, inform them, start brainstorming, and then we
Okay.
come back to tell us something.
Okay.
Okay, Charlie. So all the best, and see you next week.
Whatever, I'll call you tomorrow again for little discussion.
Okay. Okay. So
I'll call tomorrow.
yeah, we can always talk. All the best.
I'll call you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you, Joe. Hope you can see me. I can see you, but you may not be able to see me yet.
I can see you.
Oh, you can see me?
And I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. Very soon you should be online. Very soon you should be online. You should be. I mean, you should be live on stream. Yeah. The Joe is live. Hope we can see each other clearly now.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, so to this evening you were paying attention, and the main program, the idea and the main goal is to alert cadets, young and old in the field, to the opportunities that are available to them within our projects, like the 24-hour economy, all the job prospects that have been promised. Now we are in government. And I was trying to get them to know that when you vote a government into power, you don't just go rejoicing and then you sit down like a political something. But you expect our government to provide you with your necessary jobs, improve your conditions of life, and many other things. And this time, the government showed all and sundry. We have got this program, 24-hour economy. We have got the job creation programs and so forth. So they should know which area of the programs that they might fit in or they might be interested in. That will help them in their regions. You see, we are trying to raise awareness. So as you listen to the program, I hope you got some ideas from what Dr. Mete Nono Jr. shared with us.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, can you maybe share with us how you think the youths will be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are being created by NDC government?
Well, I share quite a different view from the conventional wisdom that our brother Metonolu shared. To be honest with you, I believe the youth of Africa are our greatest assets. While Africa's economic growth is positive, there is the urgent need to promote inclusive economic transformation and job-induced growth to improve the quality of life for all Africans. So, Africa's youth population is rapidly growing and expected to double to over 830 billion by the year 2050. And if we properly harness this increase in the working age population, this could make Africa grow fast and in leap and bounds. And it will support growth in multiple industries and increase productivity for much stronger and more inclusive economic growth across the continent. So, Ghana, if you watch in our elections, most of the youth were angry because they are not employed. They are not active economically. And they are getting by with very little that they can get by with. Some of them are still living on their parents. And we have untapped youth because there is unemployment and underemployment. And we don't really design programs, or better yet, the government's budget to bring up the untapped youth of this continent or of this country is not big at all. We spend so much energy on other sectors, but the biggest asset that Ghana has is the youth, or Africa indeed. So we need to look at how we can incorporate youth programs in all the areas that we are trying to develop, such as in energy, such as in tourism, such as in all the sectors, agri and agribusiness especially. We need to incorporate a youth program so that when there are investors, Ghana government must tell the investors, we want you to add some kind of youth training to your program. So while they will hire the right skills, the people with the right skills to do their work, they will also add some new youths to train them in addition to doing their work. So, like for example, let me give an example. If you take all the programs our brother Metonolu mentioned, these are government programs. And typically, after the government changes one day, all these programs typically come to a standstill most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. So we need to figure out a way to bring the youth into programs where real life companies have included some kind of a small portion of their company in training the youth as a favor to the government, so that investors don't come, and then some of the investors are even bringing skilled labor from abroad or other places, and then they leave out our youth in the training them to do their work. But it shouldn't be so. So we should have like jobs, real life jobs. Like if you look at Toyota just invested heavily in Ghana, but all their employees are the skilled people they look for But there is no program attached to Toyota for specifically training the youth to make them skilled in that thing. There is no program attached to Nestle train the youth so that they will tap their mind and their synergies into transitioning them on or even making them skilled enough to go into the industries. And this is what we should be looking at, because the youth in this country is the biggest asset. Let me give you some statistics so that our government will know how important our youth is. The African Development Bank is projecting that there will be 24 million jobs in the future that can positively impact about 50 million youth over the next decade. And they want to give money towards this because they realize African youth is so much. So our government needs to figure out how to tap into this program and take some of the monies to train African youth right here in Ghana. Because the statistics are alarming. Africa's youth population is rapidly growing and expected to double to over 830 million by 2050. That is a statistic that is so alarming on the population. That means that 1 out of every person living in Africa will be a youth by the year 2050. So if we don't change the youth to become productive, Africa will decline in productivity and will remain poor. Another staggering statistic which we should be looking at is, if you look at all the wars, the mayhem, all the things that are going on in our country, like Boko, the conflicts in Ghana, the conflicts on the continent, about 40% of the people who join these conflicts or these rebel movements are motivated by lack of economic opportunity. So if we find jobs in Africa and in Ghana, conflict will remain because they are ready to do anybody's bidding. This Galamsey issue that we are discussing, that last time everybody was lamenting about it. Galamsey, for example, if the government of Ghana is able to sit down and properly delineate and license small-scale farmers, we'll be able to change a lot of youth life around. And it will be formalized.
The line is breaking. I don't know why.
My line is breaking?
Yeah, nice. I can hear you well. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now.
So I'm saying that this Galamsey thing that has become a menace in Ghana here, if the government of Ghana can take it and formalize the Galamsey or small-scale miners and regulate them, keep them out of our forest reserves, keep them out of the waters, able to write some regulations and rules for the small-scale miners, such as the wages that they will pay their workers, the things they are supposed to do and not supposed to do, some kind of rules and procedures to regulate the youth in that Galamsey, will be able to make a lot of money in this country. Instead of going and just licensing all of them across the board, we should relicense them and make them more productive, more regulated, so that Ghana will employ all these youths in all these rural areas to have jobs, and not just have jobs, to have jobs that pay taxes. So right now, all the Galamsey people, I don't think they are paying taxes. Are they paying taxes, my brother?
Well, that's a complicated, is much more complicated. But you have
So
touched,
if they are
you have touched
paid,
some areas. Galamsey is one aspect. You have already touched on some area of youth training. That is what will be called in the economic and other areas as a transfer of skill
yes,
transfer. Yes, so that in these areas, firstly, like in the areas of IT, the government has got this 1 million coders, isn't it? To get,
yes,
to get the youths to train, to qualify for IT related jobs. Now, we also talked about Nestle. Nestle, you know, if you recall, more than 30 years back, Nestle used to be big in Ghana. And when one of the top men, I think the government NDC government has even contacted him, who rose also became the head of the local industries, the association. He entered Nestle. I think he said he one day was wearing Chalewati, and he told them he was going to rise to the top. They didn't believe it, but he did. And then he spoke. I've heard him speak about how they do this training that you are referring to. You see, but the fact is, the economic downturn, how disorderly our developmental efforts became, how people sat down, allowed companies to run down, how government could not cope with lower imports, and all those things has led to the near collapse of these industries. And when they try to survive, you can see now, they have raised the prices so much because even the cost of production is so high, such that things that are produced in Ghana cost so much, even higher than things that are imported. You see, the problem is hydra-headed, very, very complicated. You see, this is a company that was operating along the lines that you are referring to. With developing youths.
If you take Nestle, they are the typical factory assembly line production type of operation. So they hire a lot of people. And so they need certain things like energy costs to be down. They need taxes to be down. And they need what are called low labor costs. They have the low labor costs in Ghana, but our energy cost keeps going higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
And our taxes keeps going higher and higher and higher. So that makes their productivity or their cost of production go very high. So if we want to bring back to factories or assembly line production, that will make made in Ghana become a low cost. We have to solve energy insecurity first. So what about energy? If you look at
the line
production,
is breaking again. I don't know why. The line
production
is
of,
breaking again.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Maybe you have to come closer to the source.
Okay. Production of energy, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Production of energy in Ghana is high because we normally import diesel or gas or something abroad in dollars to Ghana before we produce electricity with it, and so forth and so forth. The only alternative is either solar or hydro, which is Akosomo, but the Akosomo production is not so high, and it depends on natural rain. If it doesn't rain, we can produce a whole lot of power there. So the cost of production of energy, which factories need to be low, is high. So the government of Ghana has to figure out how to solve this equation for production to be low for I don't know how they'll figure out whether they will give them commercial discounts, factories. Because if you want to do this 24-hour economy thing, it means you have to give them a low cost of production, meaning that you have to give them energy costs must go down
Yeah, I've
and tax down.
Yeah, I've heard of a
That-
plan like that.
And that is how you can tell them, I'll give you these things, but in exchange for this, I want you to hire or create youth programs of skill transfer and training and hiring more people. It's like a trade-off. And that's how you get more people to be productive. Through training and if the cost of production is low for factory A and B and C, more investors will come to invest because the cost of production is low. This is not rocket science. It is like that. And that's what the Chinese did. And eventually they learned a lot. They had a lot of transfer of skill that even they began to produce themselves. Even if the investors decided to leave, they have had enough skill to produce their own goods themselves. Because in the past, we used to laugh at made in China goods when we were younger. Those days, you see something, so this is made in China, we laugh. Today, everything is made in China, and we are gladly buying it. So you have to start somewhere, and Ghana has to start somewhere. And the way to start is to do these two things, food security and energy security. I've talked about the energy security. The food security, thank God that NDC wants to address it through the agric and the agro-business in the manifesto, whereby they will help with agric and agribusiness.
Yeah.
You know, a good program. So the youth of Ghana must take advantage of that. They need to find out from the Minister of Youth and Employment, you know, I think it's Malik Bakari, right?
Your line breaks. Come again. Speak again.
I'm talking about the Youth Employment Agency under Malik Bakari.
Yeah.
One of the main things they must do is try to educate the youth in understanding the programs for the youth to take advantage of those programs. Because if the youth do not know about those programs and to take advantage of it and to go into things like agric and agribusiness, the program will fail.
Yeah.
If we do programs that the youth don't know about, all these programs will fail. That is why this planting for food and jobs failed. Because many people didn't understand what it is for. And it failed miserably. So the lessons learned is we need to teach. It needs to be like a campaign going on across Ghana all the time through even songs and all kinds of, you know, campaign messages to bring in the youth, because the youth population in Africa is so high that if you don't bring in the youth in productivity, the productivity will remain very low in the country. A lot of the youth should be paying taxes to increase the tax net, but they are just doing nothing because we don't create opportunity for them to tap in.
Wow.
And that is the problem. Another area which I think, apart from campaigns to educate the youth, we need to also ensure that the government of Ghana revamp certain areas which already money is being spent on. Let me give you an example. Money is being spent on, but nothing is happening. You know, parks and gardens, for example. It's just laying there fallow. We spend money, some little money in the budget. I don't even know if we use the money to do anything. But parks and gardens, to me, they have a lot of skilled people there who understands plants and gardens. And they have some skill to impart to the youth. The government can hire a whole lot of youth under parks and gardens, push some money there, and let them be hired as experts for private enterprise. You know, companies have gardens. corporations have gardens they want to manicure, and even private people, rich people have gardens. Parks and gardens can go and work for these people and charge money for their service. And then they will use the money to pay the youth that are working for under this program. So they will create more jobs under parks and gardens. Today, our parks and gardens only wait for a budget to come from budget. They don't generate any income for themselves. They can actually use some of the skills that are there to teach the youth how to do horticulture, how to do gardening, how to do flowers. Some of these monies to be able to pay the youth and even use it to grow plants in public areas, flowers, along the roads, make Accra beautiful, to help tourism. So all these things work hand in hand. And sanitation, for example, the government of Ghana should not just give it to private companies who will charge all kinds of money, yet we don't see anything being cleaned. We need to take on sanitation with a whole lot of zeal, because sanitation in this country is the reason why tourism has been peaked and it doesn't go beyond a certain level. If you go to the Caribbean, the difference between the Caribbean and Ghana, or that place, because it's clean. The water is so clean, you will see beneath the water. In Ghana, the water is dirty. Everything is dirty. The gutters are choked. The youth are waiting for jobs. Why can't the government take on this sanitation team seriously and give the youth jobs in all these areas instead of paying companies to just use the monies anyhow? And hide the youth, give them money through the districts, all the districts, to clean their areas. So if you come to Accra, for example, all the districts should have a sanitation program where the youth are hired to clean up gutters, to make sure gutters are not choked, to make sure the trash are being picked up and taken to the incineraries to be burnt, and on. And this is all youth job for the youth, and then they will work and get paid. Many youth are waiting to do this, but nobody is really hiring them. We give all the billions and billions of cedis to some company to pay the youth, but it doesn't happen. We see trash and filth everywhere. Look at our beaches. Have you seen our beaches? We allow the trash in the gutters to sweep all the way when it rains and into the beaches. Why can't we create some filters in the gutters that when the trash comes, it blocks it so it doesn't go to the sea? So the youth can go and pick up this trash where it is blocked through these filters and empty the gutters, rather than let it go all the way into the sea and destroy our shoreline and then make tourism along the shoreline very bad. And these things that we will be doing to create a lot of jobs. Government must be very proactive with the youth. If NDC is able to do this, trust me, all these youths that are coming on board will pay a little bit of tax. The revenue will go up, and the government will have more money to do more programs.
Yeah, the thing is, we have got a manifesto we came with. And the manifesto, well, it is not cast in the, steel. So that these things, some of the things we have spoken about could well be found in the manifesto, or programs that are already ongoing, which can be modified to work like the way you are talking about. But we know that our government has demonstrated that its goal is to create the jobs for the youth. You see, so would you maybe some of these ideas must be forwarded as modules to be inserted into the programs that are already in existence. Again, the thing about finance will come in. You see, if we are ready to do it and the finance is not there.
No, listen, the finance is there. It's just that we don't know how to do it. Let me explain. If you take government takes a little bit of money, right? Maybe 50 million, maybe a little less. They normally spend a lot of money on these youth programs in Ghana, and we don't see any outcome. But however, if we take that same money that we spend on these youth programs, and then we take it to the active sectors of the economy, such as the rural micro enterprise, which we have. People going into the rural areas to buy foodstuffs, bringing it to the city to sell. It's one of these rural micro enterprise. People taking what they buy and processing the food on a smaller scale, not a big factory. Do you understand? Changing oranges, all these things that can be perishable into fruit juice and sell it. And then the following day, these are all rural micro enterprise that we could create programs and models, and that will provide, this program will provide youth capital, skills and training and mentorship to support them in launching these agriculture and agri-based micro enterprises.
Yeah, I believe
So that,
that the program you're referring to has been captured in the agro-business area of the job creation program. That's agro-business, processing these farm products into other finished products or into some other materials.
yes, I read it, but what I'm saying is it should be streamlined with the youth in mind, not just hiring business people with big monies to do it, but it should be streamlined for the youth themselves to be given small capitals to do it, to succeed.
Yeah, that's the target, I suppose. That's the goal, so that
Yes.
that will go to achieve our manifesto promises.
This is in line with this Nkukon Kitty thing that we mentioned. The youth will be able to create. We can build a hatchery, a big hatchery, which I believe some is in Ghana. And then build the food for the animals right here in Ghana, the food production right here, so that the youth that will go into program, they have a readily made available cheap food to feed their chicks. And buy from the hatcheries, feed them, give their production of or their chickens right back to a factory to slaughter them, buy everything they produce, and then slaughter them and then give to the market. If we do that, it will be easy for the youth, every youth to want to do this. But they know that if I'm able to rear so many chickens, there's already a market, a factory ready to buy everything, take it off my hand, so I don't have to struggle and lose money. Are you getting it? Yeah. And the money will, the beginning, the incubation money will come from the government. And as they do this and they pay taxes, eventually their taxes will pay for that incubation money. And then they will grow further on and on and on. You know, and so we need to combine all these good ideas we have in our manifesto with the youth in mind, because they form the large portion of our what do you call it, labor force.
Yeah, so
you know, this agro. We need, and also there are programs on the World Bank that we can look for. There are programs in African Development Bank that we should be looking for. The ministers that are involved in this, they should be looking at this agro-industrialization pipeline flagship program at the African Development Bank. These are all the, there's something called the Rockefeller Trust Fund, which enhances the ICT skills and digital skills for the youth.
Yes,
that's
where you come in. That's where you come in. Since you have lived with them and you have got good, maybe a good idea of what they have. Some Africans know. So what do you think? How do you think maybe a group of youths, or if we as cadres, we want to pioneer something, and then we want to approach the Rockefeller Foundation, or something. Some of these banks and subsidiary programs under the various governments, like the U.S. World Bank and so forth. How do you think we can go about it?
Basically, the Rockefeller Trust Fund was built to enhance talent in the world. You notice that the West invested a lot of money in the Indians, and they saw that India that used to be very third world, and the Indian government too was serious about investing their own money to match the West investment, turn around their economies because of ICT skills.
Yeah.
They are one of the leading ICT skills in the world. And having all kinds of services for the world and the West. So now the Rockefeller Trust Fund is built to tap also in other areas like Africa to enhance the digital skills here and the ICT skills here, so that talented youth here will go through these programs and be able to come up with computational thinking and digital literacy and all kinds of logical thinking and complex problem solving in these areas. In fact, the Rockefeller Trust Fund gives you not only money, they give you how to do these things in schools. You know, that's why John Mahama's program, Coding for $1 Million, is excellent. Because right now, coders are needed in the world. With this new advent of AI and the digital economy, many coders are required in the world. In fact, in the next 5 years, new jobs in coding is going to be up 500,000 jobs in the African continent alone. Let's just say out of that 500,000, Ghana gets just 50,000 of these jobs, which normally pay in dollars. Do you know what it will do to many homes? Not only will these jobs bring us income, it will also form a seed to be able to make sure these people that we are teaching, these 1 million coders that we are training, will see that, what I'm doing, there are jobs already there for me to go after. Are you seeing what I'm talking about?
Yes, so that is why I'm asking that how can we are now sitting here talking about these things because we are cadres and we want to do these things to benefit cadres. So how do we get this thing? Maybe you, as you sit there, you will put something together.
I can go into the technical side since I'm a professional in the ICT. That's what I was trained in the US. I was trained as a telecom.
That is in spite of that. What I'm saying is, maybe we put together some proposal, forming some small venture in the area of ICTC, meant specifically for our young cadres. You see, because they are the backbone of cadership and they are the youths, and it will be very much in line for them to have such a program.
Okay, let me say this. ICT is it's just like any field. It requires a lot of investment and a long-term one, so that people will develop their skills and then use the skills and then be able to teach the people behind them. For example, in America, when I was going to school as a student at Virginia Tech, those days, we were at the infant stage of the internet. And we were learning all the protocols and the technology that today is being used. And then we were able to get jobs in it and pass it to the next generation. So for Ghana to be starting off saying they want to create 1 million coders, that's a good. But we shouldn't stop there. We need to talk about after they learn coding, then what? What would they do? Otherwise, when you code, you learn coding and you don't use it, after a while it will become obsolete. So the best thing to do is to start aligning these coders, this ICT program development with the existing companies, so that the companies will be aligned with ICT programs that the government will share this youth or give this youth to these companies to further work there. So like, if you're talking about a proposal, I believe government to be giving these coders not only to employers to be able to bring them into the ICT world, but also look beyond Ghana, like India is doing, using some of these coders, the very talented ones. So we will put them in under experienced ICT professionals like Matai, to have a program to be able to seek jobs from abroad, like what we call centers, some things like that. Some of them is network centers, whereby, and then there is software coding centers, where we work for companies abroad, because we might charge cheaper than the Indians or cheaper than the West itself. And that's how we can use all these coders in Ghana that we are going to train to become, like, get it going, so that ICT will grow as a sector. The ICT today, it hasn't grown at all, because Indians are coming to do our ICT for us here in this country. And the little professionals that we have, we are not giving the chance. Because
one moment, let me ask you, did you hear of this, is it cubicle something they set up at Osu? They set up some ICT something, which is more like cubicles where people, Ghanaian youth and so forth, take up cubicles there to work, to do ICT jobs.
Yeah, I believe during the Jomama's last time, and even Nanado's recent era, there was some effort in that area. But where Ghana is failing is the continuation of the training into work.
Yes.
So the government actively look towards places where ICT is already matured and booming, for us to use the cheap labor we have in ICT to be able to.
Let me maybe bring out this thing. You see, much has been said about how every institution, everything that the government and Akufo-Addo did was politicized. I know of a case of a senior military officer. He went to set up a whole unit outfit and train them. They said this man is from this tribe, he's not on our side, so they removed him. The same way, if they are in other areas, instead of I've set myself this goal, we are getting this year we are producing 1,000 skilled labor in ICT. Then out of the 1,000, you must see that 500 are actively working and experienced, so we can use them as showcase. They won't do that. They would rather say that these people are not on our side, and then they will just mess up the whole thing. You see, that's one of the ways every aspect is being undermined. That is why I ask you, we as cadres, we are all United Cadres from TV. We as cadres come to get some initiative. It could be not-for-profit organization in a way, but once you've got the expertise and we are willing to do this, well, we get a nucleus and then we do the proposal forward and get the youth to get started. You see, so like your main achievement or what you want to put out to the country is our goal. We have produced 1,000, out of which 500 or 1,000 people are actively working in this and that area with all the shortcomings. That is what I'm trying to bring out, because the willingness is there, and yet people undermine it, so that if we set up, we do our initiative, we are good to go and get some good results.
Well, I don't think that will work if we only, as you rightfully said, we cannot be partisan when it comes to talent. Talent doesn't know partisanship. Talent is talent. And so if you do what Akufo did, you fail. In fact, remember I mentioned the Rockefeller Fund. They don't seek to help us because they think they are looking for talents amongst us to become scientists in that field or to become experts in that field, to help the world grow further into that field or further get better in it. So for any program to work in Ghana, this thing we do with politics, which is partisanship, especially with the youth, must stop. We need to recruit raw talents based on what they can do, how much better, how good they are into these fields. Otherwise, the programs will fail. That's the Bible really rightfully said. Nation divided against itself. So is this thing. So we need to recruit with this ICT area according to talent. We can't just, when you bring in coders, let me explain. When you bring in coders, the first layer of coding is a filter course. Is to be able to determine and ascertain who has the talent to continue. Once they are determined who is talented, it shouldn't matter whether their father is Akufo-Addo or Bawumia or Mahama. Once they have the talent, they should be recruited into the real program for it to stand. Because at the end of the day, when they become good and they are paying taxes, nobody says, oh, this is taxes from this MPP or this NDC man. Taxes are taxes. And anyone that pays taxes is useful to Ghana. So we need to recruit. This is the mistake that the Akufo-Addo government was doing. The police needs real talented people who are built for police. But instead of looking for talent, they were looking to do some partisan thing, even going beyond the partisan thing and taking bribes for their positions. It shouldn't be that. We should be talented, because there is a certain type of people that are good and good for that type of job. Police. The same thing with the military. Same thing with the civil service. So we need to begin to be serious as a nation and look for talent, because right now in the world, talent will bring in dollars. Let me give you an example. I was here in Ghana, right, and working for organizations in the US, making dollars as a cloud architect. I log in remotely and do my work. As a cloud engineer, they didn't look at me because I was some, whatever. They looked at me because of the talent I have, and they didn't care if I was across the sea. As long as I can deliver, they were willing to pay me my dollars. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
And this is the untapped area the government of Ghana hasn't done. We do all these youth programs, but we do it with the political lenses, and we don't filter it with talents, or we don't sieve it against talents to go fetch us dollars from abroad. So then the program dies a natural death when government changes. But when people are skilled and talented, whether government changes or not, their skills remain with them and they can bring in productive work from anywhere. Today in this world, remote work is everywhere. Chinese are working across the seas, Indians are working across the seas, Americans are working. The remote work is everywhere. The question is, how many of our youth today are doing the remote work and earning dollars? When they earn dollars, they come to Ghana. Ghana can tax them if they are able to model it and make it a formal program. Are you getting it? So the Ghana government must first do two things. They must use the civil service institutions to grow IT sectors, IT departments, and then recruit these youth they train right there to do the work. Then some of them will also be used to fetch money. They will do programs where we work. Call centers are answering phones for a company abroad. Look at, we speak English. America speaks English. UK speaks English. Australia speaks English. Why can we target some of our youth? But the government is sitting there. Nobody is empowered to go and search for these jobs, these contracts.
Yes, Joe.
Nobody is doing anything.
Joe, we must set up proper program to discuss these things, because there have been
proper program.
There have been, the former Ghana National Trading Company GNTC headquarters on the High Street in Accra, opposite the Ghana main post office. It was turned into Ghana, or is it internet or something? Hub. Adakufo, at John Mahama, we launched the fiber optic cable around the country, and it turned out we also programmed some other projects. And then there was this initiative to do that cubicle thing. They had a name for it, Codex Cubicle on the Oxford, Osu, around Osu. They were doing it, but I hear they were having problems with costs. People were not making that much money to pay for the cubicles that were rented out. It's all meant to do things like what you are. So the thing is, and then this Akufo-Addo thing came to just mess up with it. Everything is politicized. Let me finish. The thing is, so I would want us, as people who are interested in IT, to do a proper evaluation of all these things, where we have come from and where we are, and where these projects have reached, so that we fit it into the 1 million coders project of the John Mahama manifesto, NDC manifesto. And then we sit down, analyze, and see ways we can also improve upon what has been done so far, the shortcomings of all that has been done, especially with the goal of getting young cadres in as a way of job creation. So that is a program that I want us, maybe if you've got time, scribble a few things, note it down. We have to, because that program, that area alone is huge. The area of Galamsey too is huge. So we need to take them one after the other so that we can exhaust the topic, analyze all the factors, where we have come from and where we are. So that's what a program that I want to put on your table. Let's prepare and do it. So that
let me say something. You see, every country in the IT sector, in the ICT sector of the country has to earn money from the sector and then invest that money in their youth, because ICT as an area of technology is fairly new. It's not like more than 100 years. It's maybe 30, 40, maximum 50 years. It's fairly new to the world. So countries that are serious with ICT, they create rules, regulations, and laws to regulate the sector and also control the sector. In other words, they are part of the infrastructure building, and they regulate the infrastructure to share revenue.
That is why I said That's why I said we must do this
So,
program and do it
yeah, you hear me? I'm building up.
dedicated to IT. Maybe one sitting will not be even adequate for this thing. And then
Now,
we
you wait.
look at the
Let me see.
whole thing and see how we can make it into income generating ventures for our youth.
Yeah, but that's what I'm explaining. That the income generation starts at the top. It starts with the government. If government, let me give you for example. You see in Ghana, our scenario in the PNEC days, they grew a sector, the ICT sector. They invested money in the sector. They were able to come up with Kasapa and all those. They were able to bring up postal and telecommunication to make it Ghana Telecom. Do you remember those days? And Ghana was earning monies. So then Ghana could use that money to further develop the sector. But here comes Kufuor, who sold the Ghana Telecom away. So now we have a country where we have companies like MTN and like Vodafone and all these companies that are taking all the revenues in this sector away. So our government doesn't have lion's share of this sector. They barely scratch a little bit. And let me say this, our communications area don't have control over this sector. MTN has built their own infrastructure in the country and they are running wild because government never provided one for them. Same thing with Vodafone. We sold it to them. The infrastructure is old and they have sold it to, is it Telecel? And so Ghana government should be investing in brand new infrastructure, building state-of-the-art modern fiber optic lines, buying a satellite, and maybe linking this satellite.
Yeah, you are doing a program already, but I've told you this is not a program we can do even in one city, yeah, a whole day city. So let's plan it. Let's plan it.
This can be done in like 4 years if we are serious.
No, I'm saying sitting down to analyze the whole entirety of this project. I mean, ICT, the state of it in Ghana, where we have come, where we have reached, where we need to make changes and all that. It's not even a program we can do on this channel in one sitting, just one sitting. So I'm saying, let's make it a project to be done. So we shall do it. In whenever we are ready to sit, maybe somebody else will join us, and then we'll do.
Okay.
We start and we'll sit, discuss.
I mean,
because it is part of ICT NDC manifesto. It is.
Well, I'm sorry because this is my field. I got drifted off. But I'm sorry.
What I mean is, it is, you will note it down and start making your notes because we have to do it on this channel. So we shall sit down and discuss it. That means we're discussing the whole entirety, the scope. You see now, and then after you have analyzed the scope, you can make your recommendations. So I'm saying, get prepared. We'll get somebody else, maybe another person to join us. And then we begin to do a program. We will not, I don't think we'll be, even if we are doing it every weekend, we'll be able to finish in 1 month. No, because it is huge. You have to analyze a whole lot. You have to assess a whole lot from infrastructure to project, manifesto to whatever, to the youth and how are you going translating it and all that. So we shall, I'm saying, we will dedicate days for ICT because it's part of our manifesto and it's part of our job creation project. And job creation is what we are discussing now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, right, hear me. What I'm saying is, you cannot create jobs in vacuum. To create jobs, the government must invest in infrastructure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That is part of the program we are going to have to discuss all that. You understand? Yes. So we shall do it.
I'm trying to explain to you that you can create jobs without creating the infrastructure for the people to work on it, there will be no jobs. You're just going to have teaching people, and then that's the end of it. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah, so
we need to
where we get the program going?
They go and work on the infrastructure.
Yeah, so we will do it when you are, when we sit down for ICT, picking it from the very start, logical beginning, starting point, progressing, analyzing everything, and then the recommendations will come. You understand? Yeah, so let's make it a date. And maybe we'll notify each other when the program can begin, dedicated to ICT. You get
yes.
it? Yes. So we've gone 10:26 now, so we'll have to bring our program to an end. Maybe we have to bring forward the time we do the main interviews and then start discussion to about 6 p.m. so we get enough time. Maybe even forward if there are no major programs going on. We bring it forward to 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and then we get going, so we don't get too late. Maybe we have to end it here. This has been our comrade and a specialist in ICT, Joe Webb. So let's see how we can meet again. We have put something on the table. We shall plan for it, and then we'll have it progress, and then we'll see what we can do. So thanks a lot, Joe, for being on the program. We shall book a date, and we shall have it, and then we'll see how we can help our own people. So we have to bid farewell and goodbye to our folks and all those who will be watching subsequently.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye, man.
Bye-bye.
Committing themselves to civil rights, the new government.
Good morning. 1969.
Notice. Lieutenant General Frederick Ikuku.
In an attempt to take scapegoats
For the first time in Ghana, a group of junior army officers had attempted to
After 3 months, they handed over to the civilian government under Hila Nina.
I will set the appropriate examples myself.
Committing themselves to civil rights, the new government.
Good morning. 1969.
Notice. Lieutenant General Frederick Ikuku.
In an attempt to take scapegoats
For the first time in Ghana, a group of junior army officers had attempted to
After 3 months, they handed over to the civilian government under Hila Nina.
I will set the appropriate examples myself.
Of the
committing themselves to civil rights, the new government.
And destruction are two different things altogether. That means that it will take a lot more time for us to be able even to stabilize the situation and then to build upon the situation. It will also need a massive infusion of financial resources, which we don't have. But our flag bearer and the team that we'll be working with, I believe, are very resourceful. And we were there in 2012, when we came into office. Our president worked for less than 4 years, about three years and 4 months or so, because the court case took the better part of the first year. But within those 3 years, what he was able to do is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We've never seen a style before, except perhaps during the Nkrumah regime or during the early stages of the PNDC, when Jerry, our former president, Jerry John Rawlings, had to stabilize the situation again for our economic takeoff. Now, to do this thing, I believe the NDC is capable, but we need to look at a couple of things. One, we need a moral revolution. The president-elect talked about resetting the economy. We also need to reset the minds of people. Comrade, they don't have an option. When you join a group, you go by the tenets of that group, or you fall out. The president-elect himself said it. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be business as usual. Okay. Now, if you recall, when His Excellency John was in power, 2012 to 2016, he named and shamed. He punished his own people for wrongdoing. We've never seen it before. And so this time around, the policy is very simple. And you know, in the last 8 years, something has helped the NDC a lot, which is social media. Nothing is hidden for long. You do the wrong thing, the next day it's out there in the public space. Okay? So once it comes out in the public space, then will be very quick to react to it. And so when 2-3 people are punished for wrongdoing, the others will fall into place later. You either do that or you are booted out. So it is the whole issue for us to be fair, to do the right thing, to punish wrongdoing, to reward good work and hard work and honesty and truthfulness. And very soon people will think, hey, this NDC is a new NDC, it's not business as usual.
They have lost that enthusiasm. So that is how it is. I think that, like I said, there are hanging fruits that can be dealt with. For instance, I said, the youth are looking forward to begin something now. Let's organize them, whether the National Youth Organization, something, or the National Service, and let them push to the areas where Galamsey is taking place. Let's have straight submission from some well-trained youth groups. We can get some from the military or the police or wherever. Let them go and supervise them so that the watchman does not become the thief. So that we can, by that we can engage a lot of youths in their thousands. Because the work to be done is plenty, is huge. The other thing that can also be done is, like I said, we must begin reforming all the state institutions, because 99% of them are non-neutral. That is the maximum. So that is where I am taking the what I want to tell my colleagues and comrades who are in power now is that if we don't do the right things from the word go, immediately the confidence in us will begin to dissipate. In other words, what I'm saying is that there are certain hanging fruits that we can pluck easily without even finance. I am talking about reformation of the institutions, state institutions, because the outgoing government captured the state. Everything from state organizations like electoral commission and all that, they were all captured. If you don't do the will of the people in power.
Now that issue of integrity deficit, that issue of violating the principles of truth is not a core value of social democracy. In other words, when you are holding office as a social democratic party member, you are expected to be honest in your dealings and in the management of public resources. Otherwise, then the issue about accountability would catch up with you when the people think that you are not honest in the management of the resources they've entrusted to you.
Yeah, so what are the typical mechanisms that social democratic governments use to measure the accountability principle for their officers?
It comes in the form of institutions' own guidelines as to how resources are managed. We know about audit processes, we know about disbursement processes, we know about the issues about how you use the resources entrusted to you. Those ones are standard, but there are institutions as well that, for instance, the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, they are independent constitutional bodies. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, the security agencies, and indeed the judicial system. Those are institutions that should ensure that office holders are held accountable. Even with the public service, there are rules of engagement which would prevent you or which direct you to conduct yourself in a manner that would not raise issues about your management of the resources or your mismanagement of the resources. Indeed, the release of funds annually is linked to the way you manage the previous year's resources that have been approved by Parliament for you. So Parliament itself holds office holders to account. But we operate a system where the institutions have been weakened, and particularly under this government, they have been weakened by excessive politicization, and so office holders are beholden to the president. They are basically trying to please the president, and therefore they are culpable to pressure from the presidency as to do this or do that, and they fund this program and don't fund this program. And the multiplicity of institutions have been created by the government that has given room for corruption.
And so it is important. Those are some of the things I suggest the government looks at as early as possible to give hope and confidence, hope to Ghanaians, and then build confidence in them that indeed Ghana will transform positively and the Black Star will rise once more. Because other nations are waiting for the example of the Black Star. If the Black Star fails, Africa will fail. Definitely.
And so reconstruction and destruction are two different things altogether. That means that it will take a lot more time for us to be able even to stabilize the situation and then to build upon the situation. It will also need a massive
Committing themselves to civil rights, the new government.
Good morning. 1969.
Notice. Lieutenant General Frederick Ikuku.
In an attempt to make scapegoats of
For the first time in Ghana, a group of junior army officers had attempted to
country. After 3 months, they handed over to the civilian government under Hila Liman.
I will set the appropriate examples myself.
After the free maternity care for our women, late
Committing themselves to civil rights, the new government.